Hi, Dina. Welcome to BizTalk. That's my great pleasure with you today with me. How are you?
Hi, Max. Thank you for the invitation. I'm fine. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
My pleasure. Thank you. So let's talk about yourself, a little bit of your background.
Okay. So I myself spent almost more than 18 years in innovation and strategic marketing in different sectors of real economy, but most of the time I spent for transportation and logistics. And here what we are going to talk today during this session about transportation and logistics and the solution for this industry.
Okay, so let's start talking a bit more about MaxModal.
Okay, so MaxModal is a multimodal network. To start talking about the solution, I think it's better to say a few words about the industry. Then you will be more efficiently understand the nature of the solution and how it solves the major problems. So we start from the international container transportation and logistics market. There are different types of market players here, like beneficial cargo owners, freight forwarders, third-party logistics, freight brokers, rail, sea, deep river carriers, road carriers, and many other participants. If we talk about the numbers, so we can say about today about more than 1 million companies worldwide organize transportation operations, more than billion transportation operations every year, which are connected with more than which are organized across 25 million routes, and this totally market volumes is about $700 billion per year. To organize 1 billion transport operations, all these market players, they have to do more than 1 trillion business operations. And here we enter the problematics which our solution is aimed for. As everybody could have heard about the Suez blockage this year, and it's demonstrated that the transportation processes are catastrophically connected worldwide. At the same time, business operations are disconnected worldwide, and this causes the major inefficiency. We can see labor-intensive, time-consuming operations, which surrounded by tons of paper documents for every shipment, and many redundant middlemen for every shipment. So, but the key thing is that these business operations, they are affecting negatively the transport operations. We can see empty runs, fraud, delays, and sky rates every year nowadays. So furthermore, every market player try to solve this problem by within their internal boundaries. They building enterprise-centric corporate IT solutions. But the paradox is that by trying to deal with the solution for their clients, at the corporate level. Every market participant cause major problems on the industry level. They just build digital walls for the business processes, which are highly connected, which should be connected. So this is what we are talking about and what our solution is about. So MaxModal is a digital multimodal network to connect, automate, and run business processes across container transportation and logistics industry. So this is a one of its kind innovation automation technology, and this technology is seamless. So it connects to connect business processes between any companies on the market. No code, neither API is required. Just a brief explanation of this solution. So let's say companies, they create their original rates, tariffs. So MaxModal can automatically generate derived multimodal rates from the original rate, and then it securely connects rates of all providers into one digital multimodal network. Having connected all the rates in one digital multimodal network, derived rates update automatically in real time whenever any of the original rates changes. So this opens huge opportunity to save time for organizing business operations. So alpha version is already available for public use. Just to say briefly, we are moving very intensively to the first commercial release of our product in this autumn. So with the following functionality. So it will be include the following functionality: rate management and multimodal service management, booking management, request and quotations, and document management. And in addition to this, all participants will have opportunity to communicate with the whole industry and find their partners and clients in the digital multimodal network. And of course, we plan to implement some paid services to monetize this solution also this year. If we're talking about the long-term period, they have a product roadmap for at least 3 years. And just to say briefly, it's going to cover all key business processes across container transportation and logistics markets, which will cover transportation management, asset management, and we're going to implement some solutions, opportunity for the marketplace to develop their own application for the multimodal network and monetize their application via MaxModal App Store for transportation, logistics, and trade. Just to say briefly about our product roadmap. So with target functionality, this technology has all the possibility to transform the entire industry more than the previous 60 years of containerization did, in terms of decreasing cost of transport processes. Referring to competitor landscape, we studied many competitors before we developed MaxModal. Furthermore, we studied international patents on this area, in this area worldwide before studying MaxModal. So just to say briefly, all the players who try to digitize this huge industry, they can be split into 4 segments. The first one is the enterprise-centric software solutions. You know, many of them like ERP systems, and nowadays hundreds of thousands personal accounts in incompatible websites across the world. So the second one is solutions with affiliated with the major industry players like Maersk, DP World, etc., etc. All of them, all of offline major industry players, they want to digitize the entire industry, but they have because they are affiliated with their solution are affiliated with the industry players. They have limitation in terms of scaling on the whole world, because their competitors will not attend to their solutions. This is the key major obstacle for all these solutions. The third one is the multi-enterprise supply chain business networks, and these solutions are just let's say evolution of enterprise-centric software with outdated integrated technology on board. And the first one is the monomodal market segment platforms. Their key negative point is that with monomodal platforms, you can't connect the multimodal industry. And so our advantage is that we can automatically connect business processes across different types of companies across the whole industry. And this is a patented technical solution. So this solution, furthermore, we proceed the patent to the national phase in US, China, Europe, UK, South Korea, Japan, Singapore. Totally, all these countries account for 90% of the world container trade. So in our point, foundation for the worldwide competitiveness has been set. So about the team, so I myself, co-founder and CEO of MaxModal, and there are 50 professionals within our team and 14 shareholders. To say briefly, we have shareholders who came from the industry. They are brilliant industry experts with lots of network in the industry. Some of them came from financial backgrounds. They are brilliant financials, and they are non-industry independent financial investors. And what's more, our IT team also invested their real money into MaxModal, and they can become an investors of this solution. Just to say briefly. As I told you, we start from container transportation and logistics industry. So this is a very huge industry with lots of operations, with a lot of paperwork operations, with a lot of inefficiency, and everybody knows about Suez Canal and many other weak points which make it quite unpleasant. So in terms of monetization, we start as in terms of MVP, we start as a B2B2C software as a service solution. So which means that we deal with both business accounts and private accounts, and we monetize all of them. In terms of middle-term financial opportunities, we have three major goals. First of all, we need to scale up this business model to attract users. Then we need to become profitable on the scale and to make worth in a 4-year time to become a unicorn. So if we're talking about just short-term trends, so there are quite positive dynamics. So we have our number of registered users has increased 6 times for the last 6 months, and at the same time, cost of user acquisition has decreased 12 times for the same period. And we have already attracted representatives from the top marketplace, at least in Russian market, but also there are some international guys in our system so far. So finally, we are open for venture investments, and we have set a seed round. We are looking to raise up to $1 million US for up to 10% in equity, and the minimum size of investment is expected to be at $100 US. This is just a short explanation and summary of our project, and I would like to answer for your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dinar. Thank you very much. It's a very clear explanation. Transportation, logistic, container, that's an extremely complicated sector. I've been involved when I started my business career in shipping, because a friend of mine is still doing, actually he's a very good player now, but it was so complicated. Talking to each other was almost impossible. Trust was between 0 and 0. And it was very fascinating to me that during the shipping, the ownership or what was shipped was changing any 1 minute owner, because people were selling and buying the same stuff during the process 24 hours, 48 hours. It was very, for me, it was, oh my, how was possible? I was very young and it was very, very, very fascinating. But yes, as I said before, complicated and with a lot of paper. Back then was writing everything, digitalization between 0 and 0. So it was very, very, very much complicated. So I'm happy you are doing something similar, although I do believe you have been incurring quite tough time to build up something so complicated. It's very complicated. So I'm very curious. You started with rate management, which means, if I'm right, contracts and pricing, right? Something
exactly. Yes.
And after you move to asset, which is, I do believe, even more complicated, and up to the application. Now, how do you move along these 4 different type of business, and how do you think you can integrate, which is something is going to be more and more and more complicated? And when it comes to application, are you doing something like creating a platform like yours for third parties?
Yes, if I understand you correctly, so but I try to explain. So yes, we understand that we as a team can't do all the applications for the industry by our team. That's why we plan to give the marketplace and the brilliant IT guys a solution where they can develop, sell, and utilize their own apps for the industry, which will be working on MaxModal within MaxModal area.
You give them the ability to create application, and application will be running on your platform.
Yes, yes. This is our idea, because we can't do all applications, but we understand how inefficient this industry and how demanding its industry in terms of number of applications, of quality of applications, and what's more about seamless integration between this application. So that's why we plan to provide them this solution where they can build their own applications and monetize their own applications.
Yeah, this was my second question. A friend of mine is doing something similar in oil and gas, And I've been talking, advising him more on the financial than the technical because I'm not an oil and gas guy. So I don't know how the logistic, but he was actually trying to manage the logistics behind the oil and gas, which is very old-fashioned news as well. But it was very complicated. Now, my question is, how, if they do not have the right application and the right technology, how they can apply to your platform, plug in and play?
Well, it's a matter of choice for them. Those who do not have applications, they can be users of this platform, of this multimodal network, and they can just register and utilize the other applications and the existing functionality of the multimodal network to solve their own issues related with transportation and logistics. Like, for just a brief example, like a freight forwarder or a carrier can register in MaxModal, and they can utilize whatever applications they want. For example, carrier, they interested in schedule management, in vessel management, in chartering, etc., and many other applications related to them. They can utilize to, and it's always a matter of choice. Are you a IT business for transportation and logistics, or you are a transportation and logistics business which provides transportation and logistics services? So the MaxModal is a solution that both types of players can utilize this solution.
Okay, clear. In terms of market, where is your main market now? Geography. Okay.
We start from the Russian market. We based in Moscow at the moment, and we start our rate management solution, which will be released in the full function this autumn. It can be used worldwide because we already collected all the locations worldwide. I mean, terminals, cities, ports, railway stations worldwide. So this is the cornerstone for building routes, multimodal routes from any country to any country, from any region to any region, whatever, from Italy to Mozambique, from Australia to US, etc., whatever. So this, from the start, will be international worldwide solution in terms of rate management and multimodal, multi-currency solution. But if we're going to talk about contract management, booking management, the MVP will be limited within the, how to say in English, will be limited by Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Belarus, just to say briefly. And further, we will be spread the limits, the geography limits to other countries. And this is limitation relates basically just about the law of which enforceable in every country. So that's why here we need to go step by step. So that's why we based in Russia. We start from rate management from the whole world, but in terms of contract management, we start from the former USSR. Just basically.
Because rate management means managing contracts. When contracts, it's about law. So
contracts is about pricing. Rate management is about pricing. It's
also contracts when you do rate management.
Rate management is about pricing. Is about how much does it cost to ship from point A to point B, And the key idea is that our rate management connects different mode of transportation into multimodal chains. So this is less about contracts, less about law. It's more about the standardization of the pricing information and the possibility to connect seamlessly different modes of transportation and to calculate automatically the rate for the multimodal route, for the multimodal service.
So you're giving to them the tool to price the service as well?
Yes, this is a price, and yes, service and price. This is basically service is which operations are you going to provide, and the price, how much will it cost for your client.
Okay. I mean, the MVP is almost done. We start running.
Yes. Yes, we started running in the alpha version is already publicly available, but MVP is we plan to release this autumn, maybe up to this autumn.
Okay. Did you start any pilot testing?
We have already attracted quite a lot of users for the alpha version. And they are already testing this solution. And with the new release, of course, we will invite them to use the new features of MaxModal to build their multimodal services, rates, connect their rates with the rates of other participants of MaxModal, to apply requests, to submit requests, submit bookings to this, which we invite and encourage our existing users from the start. So we made quite a good job by already inviting quite lots of industry players on MaxModal, and they are waiting. At the moment, waiting for the new release.
Okay. I mean, you start from Russia and country around, and what's going to be next? How do you scale your business worldwide? Because you already have license everywhere. You cover almost 100% of the globe. How do you move there? And how much does it cost? Because you are raising 1 million. Which is in terms of business, not that much. And how long can last 1 million in your development?
Okay, we according to our financial model, we plan to utilize this money for 1 year. Or a little bit more than 1 year, basically. And our next steps in terms of our corporate issues, we plan to redomiciliation to UK. We have already registered our own company in UK. And within this redomiciliation, we move our IP rights to UK. Okay. And our key staff to UK, including myself. And so in order to relocate the operational center and center for decision making from Russian market to UK market, because the solution is international and for the international market. And from our point of view, it's better to run this business, this IT business for the whole world from, I would say, natural country, which is, I would say, quite, let's say, in good relations with both with US and with China and with Eurasia also. So there are many, let's say, reasons why to relocate to UK, but this is just the corporate idea. But in terms of the business itself, we let's say, via rate management and request management, we plan to scale the, let's say, our contract management outside of the former USSR and include more countries from Europe, and probably if we and we also plan to include China. So we will be growing in terms of, so the current limitation in terms of countries from the contract management will be broken, and we go outside this limitation to Europe, within Eurasia, and then to US, etc. So this is a step-by-step development in terms of, let's say, business operations. And at the same time, we also plan to implement the new features on top of existing ones. And as you could see from our product roadmap. So the brief idea, we plan to spend all this $1 million US on 3 major points: on the product development, on the market development, and redomiciliation to UK. Just.
Thank you, Dinar. In terms of fundraising, we've been talking 1 million, roughly 10 million post-money valuation. And now we've been covering also the scale-up process, which means, you have patent everywhere. So in terms of view, you want to be global everywhere.
Yes.
You already spent enough money to patent even in China. Now, let me close with this question. Do you have any idea for investors investing in your company what can be the exit strategy for them? When they can exit, if they want to exit when investing in your business, and why they should invest in your company?
Well, in terms of, let's say, from the exit strategy for investors, it's, let's say, their own decision, and we discuss it with each particular investors, how long should they stay in MaxModal, and we show them our long-term strategy in terms of financials. I mean, it's going to be a series of rounds. So seed round, A round, B round, and C round, and we also plan to do IPO in case of successful implementation of the previous rounds. So, and in terms of, so we show them the whole picture, and they can decide when and why they can exit on each round. So there are many strategies for them to sell partly on one particular round and wait for another, etc., etc. But in terms of why to invest in MaxModal, so, well, I think, just to say briefly, it's a rare opportunity to connect all the business processes of the huge industry without any API, and we think that this technology could change our lives more than social networks and transform the global trade more than whole containerization for the last 60 years. I think this is a rare opportunity. So, and those investors who want to invest in something which has real potential to become the next big thing, I think this is a good reason to invest.
Thank you, Thank you very much for coming to BizTalk. It's been a very great pleasure talking to you, and I'm pretty sure you will get there. You get where you want to be a unicorn and disrupting, if I can use this common word. The transportation market, extremely complicated market. Extremely.
And which is complicated is a very opportunity for simplification.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Max.
It's too much complicated, you can simplify. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Max. Thank you. Bye-bye.